Mr. Rabbit says, moment of realization. Moment of realization is worth 1,000 prayers.
You're crazy, man.
Wait, I don't think I'm any crazier than you are. I'm extreme, dark, and light. You know that. I'm light with mouth. That's your shadow on the wall, you know? You can't get rid of your shadow, can you, Wayne?
Ey, weißt du, das wird alles schon cool.
Doty the Mighty. Woohoo!
And now we have Elpida.
Right, and your fans already. Congratulations.
So, I think we could start today. Maybe we can close the door from the very beginning. What about what?
Accessibility. Accessibility is very important.
Yeah. Always the same talk. No, I'm actually very happy because yesterday it was so loud because we had the party and we were like
We were killed by the party.
killed and we had to scream for the whole talk. So now we can relax. Welcome everybody to the late night talk, the second one tonight at Tanzplattform. We are very happy to have 2 talks tonight. The first one is with the great artists from the Artist Summit. And the second talk, I'm very excited, is about the great initiative Whistle While You Work. And you will hear... You will hear... Yeah, you will hear about that later on. Yeah, the audience is also excited, I see. But, guys, we will begin with the summit. And I will hand over to Philipp.
Before we begin with the summit, this is Sahar, by the way, and my name is Philipp. But, not so important. Not so important. No. Not so important. Yes, thank you. But, no, we don't go there. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. But much more important, please meet in the order of their sitting order, I don't know, Fabrice, Mazliah. Please meet Francis Chiaverini. Please meet the one and only Norbert Pape. And please meet the even more one and only Katja Cheraneva. So we have 15 minutes, which is not so much time to talk about, I know. For two talks. So in order to...
And it's recorded. Recorded. It will be recorded, so...
Yeah, please behave. It's in the internet.
Behave.
It's in the internet. In order to provide you with the most possible amount of informations within these 15 minutes, we developed this game. Also, we had these guys a little bit playing games during the summit. So the game is very easy. We call it Q&A game. So one of us is asking a question to one of them.
Are you listening?
This one person answers in the time he or she needs, but only the one person. So no discussion and I don't agree or so. Every one of these people on our couch get his or her own private questions. So, and
Could you repeat the rules once more?
No, I think you will figure it out. Let's see. And if don't, the band will start to play and we have to stop. So this is kind of the end. So thank you guys for being here very much. Thank you. Sahar begins.
I will begin. So, who is the first one? Fabrice. What is this summit everybody is talking about exactly? Please tell us.
It's about us, it's about artists, it's about Luisa, Michele, Francis, Norbert, Katja, Mariah, Moritz, Robyn. It's about so many people. Leah. It's about... Oh my God, I'm drunk. I don't know names anymore.
It's about people.
Sheena, Antia.
Anche, it's about
Elpida.
Sheena, Elpida.
Perfect. 1 point for you. Do you want to add something? Is it okay? Answer?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Katja, what was your best moment during the summit so far?
You have 5 seconds. One. 2.
My favorite moment was at the summit at this time was when Morris had to stand up and explain what intersectionalists in a relationship performing feminism. And I really love the cry moment. But there was actually the moment when everyone was dancing, and then we were also very soft cuddling together, whilst being very surprised about coordination of everyone when they were dancing, because everyone is a very professional dancer, and I expected that something were happening while we were dancing, but instead it was greater than all the individuals. And some kind of puppet circus exactly underneath it all.
Thank you. Norbert, what was your worst experience during the summit?
My worst experience was...
Yeah, so... Well, yeah, so speed dating. We
Okay.
No, really, we tried a format of like speed dating, and I was like not into it. We had 7 minutes. We made 2 circles of chairs, and there was one. Is it over? What's going on?
Yeah, it's time for you.
So we had 2 chairs of circles, and we used that as a format, I guess, to kind of get to know each other. And I felt like we didn't have time to get to anything, and I'm not into these formats of exchange.
Yeah.
But there was some...
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Point for you. Yeah, perfect. Luisa, welcome to the court. Luisa,
It's Katja.
oh, Katja. Sorry, Katja. Aren't we all talking sometimes too much about working conditions all the time? Chance to answer really seriously if you like.
Other things like dark secrets and also embarrassing stories and what else? Fantastic institutions. Yeah, there we talked about working conditions, like that there are no fantastic institutions.
No, not yet. Maybe you can found one.
Lea, what are the 3 important urges of a freelance dance artist?
Wait, you have to sit
So,
in the middle.
right, I'm sorry.
Okay. And Lucy, you have to
So,
have
yeah,
a
as a,
what is very
okay, it's very important to have
is
a
that,
unique
I have
style,
this space
and then I have
while
all the
thinking of my
space while I'm
style,
thinking about my
and,
style.
I really like watching
I really like
shows
watching
because it
Balenciaga
shows
shows,
me
but at
how
the
it's
same
working.
time, it is
It
really
needs to, like,
important to be
respond
politically
on
conscious.
very
Constantly.
You notice the way she's very
So-
confident in the way she's speaking about it? No, continue, please.
Okay.
Continue,
She's
please.
commenting.
So,
I'm just
he's
commenting.
commenting
So he's
because
commenting.
he wants to highlight
Highlight.
Thank you.
Half a point for Lea. Fabrice, what are the most annoying stereotypes about upcoming dancers?
What?
The most annoying stereotypes.
They're hot.
Yeah, it's true. It's not a stereotype. It's true. It's true.
They're hot. They are coming from Tunisia, so.
Luisa, what is your favorite yoga position? And show it to us.
Oh no, that sounds evil. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Laughing yoga.
Laughing yoga, everyone.
You can go there then. Yeah. Thank you. 10 points. 10 points for everyone. 10 points. Perfect. So,
We got it.
Katja, what
Laugh in
is
your
your
best.
favorite dance style? What is your favorite dance style? It can be a really short answer.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Peeking, flirting, and then I really love to. The audience never forget what it looks like when I'm crying.
Thank you very much. Half point.
Half point. Fabrice, what was your favorite dance style when you were a teenager?
That's interesting because Elpida could really explain that very, very well.
Where is she?
She's up there.
Question.
A
teenager.
Ah, teenager. It's the same. Kid, teenager, for me it's the same.
So tell us.
A ballet.
10 points.
Well, I'm
Michele.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was obsessed with ballet.
Michele, should there be more humor in contemporary dance?
Riccardo, what is this idea that we are shaping a space starting from proximity? So, how can you describe the intensity of our experience according to this wish to stay closer and closer and closer and closer?
I think that, the proximity, well, in my culture, the proximity is not really something that we approach so easily because, we believe in true connection, and true connection comes with time that you have to invest into because, if you don't, it doesn't happen. Yeah. Was that satisfying? Because I can continue.
It was. Thank you. Elpida, what is more important? Networking or career?
Sorry, are you serious with this question?
10 points. Thank you.
I have a question.
Next question.
I have a question.
It's against the rules, but try. Let's see if it's a good question. You worked all morning for these questions and you have a counter question. So let's hear it.
I have a really good counter question.
Let's hear it.
What wine glass is mine?
Yeah. It's always the most full glass.
Thank you.
Lea, what is your favorite game?
My favorite game. What do you think? I like.
It's the objects.
Right. Conference of the objects.
Okay.
I
Whatever that is.
was just saying, I was really good at the celebrity game because I won it. So
Yeah,
I guess that's
this is
my
actually
favorite
I was
game.
leading
Tell us, tell us the rules of celebrity game, please.
But then you have to go there because the cameraman is freaking out.
No. Okay. Yeah, no, maybe I can explain.
So explain it quickly because soon the music is coming. So now we have
Also,
to speed up a little bit.
Speed up. A game many of us maybe know. So one person has pulls a paper with a word on it, and the others have to guess the word, and the person is not allowed to say the word.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one question. If you would explain your grandmother what you do, how would you do it? I'm your grandmother. Katja, please.
Sorry.
What are you doing, kid? I'm waiting.
At the what?
At the cousin of your wedding?
At the cousin of your wedding?
At the wedding of your cousin.
At the wedding of your cousin. When you sang that folk song, I was dancing. And then my grandmother was there. You were there. And your grandfather was watching. And then I felt that there was a great moment to share, yeah, and the steps that what I thought was running around the amazing dress that I was made of. And while you were being awkward, and the situation was awkward, all the relatives were there. And something got really simple.
And the grandmother wake out in tears.
I got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the summit, people.
You at the cinema. Never take a stand and take a look. You seen it and we never gave a fuck. All the time we're wrong, you never ask. It was all for you. We never took a stand and take a look. You seen it and we never gave a fuck. All the time we're wrong, you never ask. It was all for you. We never took a stand and take a look. It's seen it and we never gave up. Science I'm bound to believe never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free.
Don't you ever even try to believe her. So is French medication and pizza.
I never read a line inside a book. Daddy let it go, I'm on the hook. I'm stepping through the line in front of you at the cinema. We never took a stand to take a look. You seen it and we never gave a fuck. All I turn around, you never ask. It was all for you. What never puts a lights around you. I'm leaving and I'm done and I'm the crook. I'm healing and you fix it back in state. Almost so see out the face. We never took a stand to take a look. You seen it and we never gave a fuck. All the time around you never ask. It was all for you. Medication and pizza. What don't you ever even try to believe her? My soul is Spanish medication and pizza. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up to be free. The science I'm bound to believe I never went up.
Mighty the Mighty, thank you very much. I think it's their own song. Is it your own song? Is the question?
They're nodding proudly.
Almost. Okay, we are coming to the second part of the talk. Maybe a little little bit more serious, I guess. Could be, but we don't know. Let's see. We have here 3 wonderful artists, choreographers. That
is Katja Cheraneva. We knew her from first round.
Robyn Doty again. And Frances Chiaverini.
Can I clarify one thing? Robyn Doty is a writer.
Is a writer, sorry. I thought you were also a choreographer, as everybody is here. And we invited you to speak about your great initiative that you founded, I think, not very long time ago, and it is called Whistle While You Work. And it's about creating awareness about sexual harassment and discrimination and topics that are really everywhere now, but to create maybe this awareness also especially in the field of dance. But let you talk about it. What was your initial idea? What was the thing that you said we have to do something like this for dance? What was your ideas? How did it begin, and what is the project about?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear the project's about sexism, and sexism exists everywhere, and I work in the field of dance, so I see that there all the time, so I wanted to address that. And I just want to say, tomorrow we will be talking even more about this at 4:30 in the foyer. We're having an open forum. Everyone's welcome.
But explain a little bit more, please. It's a website. What is on the website? I mean, everyone can check it out, but maybe you help us a little bit going through it.
Yeah, so it started with a register, an online register, where people could publicize testimonies, stories, situations that they were in, that they felt marginalized them. So people can write in and they can publish these stories anonymously or not, and they can also not publish them. Well, we can just hold on to them and keep them in our archive for future reference.
I noticed, Robyn, we worked, of course, we prepared and we researched on your website. And after a few minutes, we started to exchange our own stories that would fit to that from very different positions, as a perpetrator, as a victim, as a witness, as someone who knows but or isn't sure about knowing, and that kind of gray zone we are also talking here about. Most of the stories seem to me to be anonymous. Huh? There are no people who say, it was me and this is my name, and no people who say, it was you and this is your name. Can you tell us a little bit about that from the post we read? But, yeah.
I mean, I think there's like reasons why people, of course, don't want to attach their names to these types of stories. And I feel like, of course, if you do come out about something like this, there are a lot of backlashes that are possible. And I think people, of course, within dance, like they want to maintain their career. And I feel like it's something where if you do come out and say something, especially against like a certain person, will you be able to find work after that? Or will there be some kind of retaliation against you? Or, I mean, I think a lot of people also, if you, like, to write something like this on the website, I feel like is giving something personal of yourself. And I feel like sometimes that's really, it's really difficult. I feel like it's really difficult to relive those types of traumas. And to attach your name to them is also very difficult. Yeah.
And that was our impression. In order to show structures and so a structural reality, the stories are working. It's not. It can be about names at some point, also for some good reasons, but it's also very strong to just show that there's a high amount of those coincidences, cases, realities, and yeah, I think it's a very good way actually to address it, to show that it is. I'm coming from education, and we're never talking about it. We started, of course, talking about it, and we will address this later. It's a complicated issue, as we all know, and this helps actually to get references and to say, look at that, it's a reality.
But are you aiming on something like particular with it, or is it just like you begin with this kind of archive and we collect, and we just know that it is there? Or is it like, is it a tool for something else to go something else with it, somewhere else?
First of all, can I make a little request? Can we put the light a little bit dimmer, because it's
video
a little
light.
bit blinding. And
you can ask for it, but let's see what happens. But yes.
So, answering your question, and I'll answer for you too, from what I heard as well. I think one of the very important aspects is to start a conversation, and as well to give voice to people that normally don't have so much voice. And I think it might be a very strong position that I'm going to take, but I would say that dancers don't have so much voice to state. I think in order to have a voice that is being heard, because to have a voice doesn't mean necessarily that you're able to speak, but to have a voice means that you're being heard and being taken in considerately. In that way, I feel like dancers always have to change to becoming someone else. And dancer on their own don't have so much voice and don't have so much agency, actually. So a lot of what was happening, or the forums were, like the aim of it was to bring the conversation up, make it present, and create a platform for people to voice what is happening to them and what is important and what are the issues and what are they experiencing, and that they have a platform where they practice speaking about it. Because what we do normally, we talk about it in private, one-to-one.
Breaks.
Exactly, afterwards.
After with wine.
Behind someone's back.
Not in the public.
So to say, but like publicly, as a dancer, you don't speak about it for many, many different reasons. And come back, or I wanted to add something to what you were talking before. I think this platform, it is not, it's not only about like female dancers. I think the platform addresses the issues that are very present in relationship to many other different contexts. So of course we refer to it from our own perspective and our own position, but nevertheless, it's actually issues and questions that are present on a much wider scale. And it's just like one of the way of addressing it. And of course we have to address it from our own personal perspective.
Yeah, but still I would argue that in dance you have a very special condition, because it's the body you're working with. And it's like you need to touch each other, you need to have contact, you need to work with your male colleagues and so on and so on. And it's like you have often male choreographers, and I mean, I'm not so much into choreography, but how did you show something? Or there's contact improvisation, for example. Yeah. So for me, it is really interesting to know where are really the margins? Where's the line where you can say what is your opinion on that? Where you would say there is a moment of harassment happening in this moment, or is there something that we have to like speak about beforehand, or how to deal with this? Because in this special field where like the body is so much present all the time.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah. I'll pass it. But I think exactly that is one of the problems of dance, or problems of how dance or being a dancer is being represented. Because it's being represented as like, if you're a dancer, supposedly you have to be comfortable with being touchy and in a certain way being as well like sexual. But I think there are borders. And I think that, of course, we deal with body, we deal with contact, we work with touch, but I think there are different type of touches. And I think as well that exactly because of that closeness and because of certain techniques or methods that are there, it's very easy to abuse them and to use this. The other day we were talking about like lifts in a classical ballet. Like there are those what are they called? Like lifts that you're doing, and I think like there's like it's very easy there to implement inappropriately, because it's so like the borders are so shaky. But I think it's very important to remember that of course we deal with the body, but it doesn't mean that one can cross those borders. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden you can touch the other person in a sexual way if they don't like it, and it doesn't mean that if you're dealing with a dancer that they have to respond to a touch always positively.
No, but if you're sitting in an office as your job, it's very easy to define, okay, there is a touch on my ass, so this border is crossed now. But as a dancer, I mean, it is so hard, I believe it is so hard to say, now this is happening, no? So, to address it at least.
But
answering this question? Yeah, but then you need a micro.
No, I mean, I'm the only not dancer in this summit, but I'm going to ask this question because it's like it is not, because in the end, like it's just a job in some extent. And there is like a border of like in what way you touch each other and you don't. And I feel like that's just needing, of course, like it's easier to have it much more blurry, but on the other hand, it's a job and there's appropriate ways how to deal with each other and there's not. And just because it being so obvious, because it's work with the body, doesn't mean it also excludes like much more manipulative ways of sexual abuse that also come into that field of how we work being dancers or performance artists or whatever.
No, just like, plus there are like, we have to remember there are people that deal differently with intimacy and sexuality and touch. So you can't if you deal with a dancer, you can't assume that every dancer are going to deal with the touch in the same way. Simple, done.
Yeah, that's true.
Francis, do you want to add something?
I'm just going to add really quickly. It's the same situation if you're in an office.
Okay.
You can tell.
No,
it's clear.
Interesting to know.
Yeah. And I also want to add that in the forums and in the workshops, we encourage people to define those boundaries for themselves. We try to give them space to take a step back and really look at it to create their own idea of what that means.
I mean, this is all about, it is like, this is my margin and I don't want it to be crossed, and everybody has to define it for herself or himself. But still, for me, it is something different. I would say, I mean, still, it is about, is it consensual or is it not consensual? That is always the question, and you can answer with a yes or with a no. I don't want this action to happen, or yes, I want this action to happen. But if you are in power relations, and you are like dependent on the choreographer, is he going to hire you for the next shows and so on, then it gets complicated, I guess. So it's not so clear.
So I just want to, I noticed that you had on the table this card that Robyn made and the summit feedbacked for us. On one side it says useful phrases to shut down harassment. And I could give you one right now that you could practice. I don't like what you're doing.
Yeah,
Stop
no,
it.
Saying no.
So you could try that. And that's something that we do. We ask people, can you say this phrase, Robyn?
Another nice example is, when you touch me like that, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Please stop. And I feel like there are these types of moments where I know that you think that maybe with like the body there is like something more blurry, but I agree with Leia that it's it's work, it's a job, and I feel like everyone kind of knows if they're being appropriate or inappropriate, and people can tell in those types of moments what that feels like. And what we are trying to do is more or less give people the possibility, like Fran said, to know what their borders are, and then to come up with ways, of course, like these phrases, to make clear to the people around them what those borders are. And so I don't think that there's like this excuse of bodies touching for there to be inappropriate contact.
So the good news is that you have that meeting, workshop tomorrow at 4:30. I think it's longer than 15 minutes. So we can talk about
yeah, it's a forum. It won't be a workshop, it's a forum. We want to start a conversation with the people at the Tons platform.
And just one
find out
thing,
what's going on.
which we can't discuss now anymore, but really triggers me, as I said before. There also should be something like that, not only for dance, professional dance, but also for a teacher-student relationship, which makes it even more tricky, because there's also another power system at play in here. And we know what we are talking about, that there also things are happening all the time, and this needs another kind of help, I guess, and possibilities to verbalize things, because for me it's a lot about verbalizing. Thank you very much for your
Thank you for being here.
talk, and good luck for tomorrow.
Richard Siegel and Johannes Ebert from Goethe-Institut. So be
Thank you
here
very much
tonight.
for tonight. Have a nice night and a nice day tomorrow.
Just begin to fall. You said all things pass into the night, and I said, oh no sir, I must stay around. I must disagree, oh no sir, I must stay around. Won't you listen to me? Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time next to Rock and Roll History. This is Mighty the Mighty. Have nice dreams.